Hey guys, in this video we're going to be learning about constructors and destructors and types of constructors. A constructor is usually called when creating an object of the class. A constructor has the same name as the class name, but it's a function. A constructor can have parameters, and there's three types of constructors: default constructors, parametrized constructors, and copy constructors. Now, what is a destructor? A destructor is called when the program ends at the end of the program where the objects of the class are freed in memory or they are deallocated. So they usually delete the object of the class when the program ends. So I'll take the same example from last time, class car. Now, let's create a constructor. Remember, a constructor has the same name as the class. So car constructor called. Now let me only create one object of the class car so we don't get confused. You can see the constructor was called, but I didn't make any actual function calls in the main function to the constructor. It's automatically called when you create an object of a class. Now let's call a destructor. A destructor is also a function, but it's called at the end of the program when your object is destroyed. So it has the same name as the class name, but it is preceded with a tilde. Now let's run our program. So you can see constructor is called, then when the program terminates, the destructor is called. Now a destructor cannot have any parameters since the object is getting deleted anyway, so it's of no use. Now let's see the types of constructors. A class can have multiple constructors. It's called constructor overloading, similar to function overloading. The same constructor name but with different parameters, different type of parameters, or a different number of parameters. Now, the constructor we used is known as default constructor. It has no parameters and it's called even if you don't define it. Since we didn't create a constructor, it doesn't mean that a constructor is not called. When an object is created, a constructor is called by default, no matter what. Now let's see the second type of constructor. The second type of constructor is known as parametrized constructor because it has parameters. Suppose I want to set the color and the brand of the car. As soon as I call it, I can pass in two strings. So string color parameter. Within this, I want to set the color to the color parameter. Now when I create the object in main function, I can pass those two. So red and Toyota. Now let me print these to show that the constructor set these values. And you can see red, Toyota, which is the values we set when we initialized or created the object, then the destructor is called. Now let's see the third type of constructor. Now the third type of constructor is called a copy constructor because it copies the attributes of one object to another. Now suppose I created here car of car 1. Let me first create the constructor or the copy constructor. So car, so I'm passing in an object of the same class, of class car. So car uh, object. Now the color of this object is equal to the color of the car object. And similarly, brand of this object is equal to the brand of the object that's passed as an argument. Now let me create another object of class car2, and let me pass car1 as the argument. Now let me print car2's color and brand so that we know if car1's attributes have been copied to car2 or not. And when you pass an object as an argument, you always have to pass the address of an object because object is not a single value like an integer. You can see here we're printing car2's attributes, where in car2's constructor we passed car1 as the argument. So it has been copied. Car2's color is red and car2's brand is Toyota. Now why do we have destructor called 2 times? Because at the end of the program it needs to deallocate or destroy two objects, car1 and car2. So this is printed from car1's destructor and this is printed from car2's destructor. This also shows that the class can have multiple constructors and is known as constructor overloading. I hope you understood the video. Thanks for watching.